Assalamu alaikum, my dear family. I hope you all are fine and enjoying good health. So today we are going to discuss, the 9695 paper pattern in each and everything in detail. We are going to discuss the AS level because in AS we are having two papers, paper one and paper two. We have a student with us today. So I hope you are listening to me clearly. There's no ambiguity in hearing. Is the voice clear, Sanya?
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, that's perfectly fine now. Okay, let's proceed with the assessment overview. My screen is visible to you. So now the first paper one, which is named as drama in poetry. So the hours which are given to us to attempt this paper are 2 hours. This is a 50 marks paper. Candidates answer two questions, one question from section A, drama, and one question from section B, poetry. Okay, so this paper one is divided into further two sections. All right, and in the first section it is going to be all about drama, and that for drama we have different writers which we have to prepare, and for poetry we have other different writers which we have to work on from the beginning till the end, right? So we need to go in detail because there's more like analyzing the things rather than because you are analyzing the language in literature. What you're saying that you are explaining in detail, you're analyzing it. So in literature you have to write more. All right, always the examiner wants you to write more, although as far as I have attended lots of workshops of Cambridge, they always say us nowadays that please be composed, stick to the point, give your points to the point. But here what happens is that in drama and poetry you have to justify your point in detail, and for that you need words. And where those words come from, you have to practice these drama and poetry topics in detail, then definitely you will be able to habitual of writing more. Okay, so till here the paper one assessment overview is clear. Just I told you the general thing of it. We haven't discussed the details. Now moving on to the paper two. Paper two, I'm zooming it up. Paper two is going to be prose and unseen questions, right? It is going to be also of 50 marks, where you have to answer two questions. You can also write it down so you can better make a layout of your papers. It will be very easy for you then. You have to answer two questions here too. So see, sometimes students get stuck. The teacher, how to divide the time? You have clear cut 2 hours, so how will you divide it? Hmm? Yes, Sanya, you have to pitch in, you have to respond. Please speak up, tell me.
By spending a specific amount of time timing yourself
Okay, so
on
how?
certain questions.
2 hours are here. So how will you do it in these two questions?
I'm gonna spend 1 hour on each section.
Okay, that's even perfect. But what I actually suggest my students is because in paper one, drama takes more time to spend on. So you can even take 1 hour, 20 minutes for drama. And poetry is also poetry needs the words which are to the point, and also it quite composed. Okay, so it doesn't it will not be asking you to embed more details or go into the crux of that, but also the same is the case with drama and prose. So here in paper one drama and here in paper two prose, they both are demanding, they will be demanding your maximum time, so you can spend 1 hour 20 minutes for that, and the rest of the 40 minutes could be given to the next questions, right? Question number two, so section B. But if that's fine, if you create a balance of 1 hour each, that would be even fine. That's a clear cut strategy. Okay, so this is clear. Now let's move on towards the syllabus, that what is going to be basically in it, and how are we going to preparing it. Okay, so okay, so this is actually, the learners study two set text, one from section A and one from section B. Okay, so paper one, drama and poetry. You have to answer two questions. You got to know. So section A drama is going to be, based on all these writers: Errol John, William Shakespeare, John Webster, and Tennyson Williams. So we have to, from their biography to their works, to their famous works, to their, life history, to each and everything, to their achievements, to whatever they have done in their life, we have to discuss, and also their poems and poetries, right? So whatever they have done, whatever works they have done, we have to read in detail. So we should know these four writers we are working on. We should know in detail that what these writers are, who are they, and how, what is their written expression, how do they express themselves in their drama, right, and their short stories, and even some of them are their poetry, poets as well. So you can definitely go in detail of these four writers. So you got the sectioning, you got it easy. And then section B is all about poetry, where you have, the blend of these three writers, where you have to do Maya Angelou and Simon Armitage and William Blake. So William Blake, we have already, discussed in O levels as well. We have, studied over there in two. So it's not that difficult. And then there's Songs of Ourselves of Volume 2. Okay, there are selected poems, which of course I'm going to reveal the list of with you. So this is all about, paper one, drama and poetry, which we have to work on. All right. So from it, they can easily give us any text. Getting what I'm saying? So if we have, clearly analyzed any of this poem, like Moon on a Rainbow Shawl, we have clearly analyzed this, so we can easily, attempt that. If we have discussed of Tennis Williams' Cat on a Hot Rin Tooth in detail regarding each and everything of this, we will be able to attempt it. I'm going to show you the selected answers of the students too. This will actually help you a lot. And then so and in paper two, what happens is that we have, prose. Okay, so paper two is basically for prose and unseen questions. In section A, these are the writers where we have which we have to work on, and for prose, it is going to be a blend of what is a prose. Basically, if I'll ask you, in general, so what is a prose? Drama and poetry are so clear from their names. So if I'll ask you, what is a prose? What is that actually? How we define prose?
It's like a poem.
Okay, like a short story.
Yes.
Short story, because yes, of course it is. It's not like a poem. Basically, it's like a short story, and it is a type of writing that follows the natural flow of language. Basically, you have to follow all those grammatical rules in it, and all those logical orders which you have to give. But it's lack of line breaks, the meter and rhyming scheme, and it is the most common type of writing. All right, it could be like a poetry, but it's different from poetry. It could be like, because somewhere there are, they are creating rhythm and rhymes, but it's going to be different from poetry. Okay, so once you're going to read it, you will get to know. Okay, so it's like a rhythm of speech, which is, continued in prose. Okay, so it's a piece of literature which is made up of sentences and paragraphs without any metrical, structure. Okay, so these are the topics which we have to work on in prose. And in section B, there are unseen texts which will be given to us. We have to analyze them. We have to explain them, discuss them grammatically, literary, terms and all that. But it is going to be all unseen. And here, your whole knowledge will be assessed, because it's the last question of the paper two. So you need to invest time in it. So all your written expression will be working here, inshallah. Okay, so let's move on to words, the paper one, which is drama and poetry, and we will be now seeing the paper one drama and poetry sample paper. Let me just show you that. Okay, so Sanya, basically, this paper one drama and poetry is of 2 hours. This is the February March paper which I've taken out.
Okay.
Right. So here we are with this, okay now. So, as I told you, section A is going to be drama, and those were the poems which I showed you. So in this, February March paper, they have given us this poem. All right, of Errol John, Moon on a Rainbow Shawl. So now let's discuss how we need to do it. Either A or B part you have to attempt. Got it? either A or B part. I actually want to, take a screenshot of it and I want to write on the screen. So then it's going to be clear for you. I'm not going to explain the whole details of this poem, but I'm going to just, explain you the front beginning part of it so as to give you an idea. Okay, let me just take a screenshot and let me just write on my screen. Okay, so can you see me writing?
Yes.
Okay, fine. That's perfect. All right, now let's discuss that. What is this moon on a rainbow shawl? It's a very nice poem by Errol John. All right, and it is, described as a groundbreaking groundbreaking and basically a breakthrough in Britain for black writing. All right, we have the characters here in the beginning. I can show you. We need to first identify what are the characters. So you can see here the characters which the dialogues is between these two characters, Esther and Sophia. So you can see all these things. There are two characters which are in the beginning. Can you see them? So they have identified as the characters, all right. And now we are going to just, discuss that poem. So either you have to attempt A part or B part. Okay, now read out the question. We have to understand the question first, that what they are asking from us. Then we will be moving towards, attempting the answer. All right. So let's move on. What, in your view, does John dramatic presentation of the relationship between EPF and Rosa add to the play's meaning and effects? And or B, paying close attention to dramatic methods, discuss the significance of the following extract from play. I would want you to first choose that which one you are going to do. Also, I would want you to explain me a bit that what did you understand by reading these two questions, please. I just wanted to see that, like, what is your general knowledge regarding this point.
I think I'd go for B. Oh, can you hear me?
Okay,
Hello.
fine. Yes, yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, you would like to go with the B part, right? Okay,
Mhm.
so you have chosen the B part, and that is paying close attention to the dramatic methods, discuss the significance of the following extract from the play. So I know why you have chosen this one, just because the keywords of the questions are quite breathable and they're understandable to discuss things in detail. Whereas when we are discussing the dramatic presentation of the relationship between them, that would be different. But otherwise, this was the comparison question where we have to discuss the relationship between them, and that was easy basically. But it's fine when you pay close attention to the dramatic methods, then you need to go into detail by explaining through the literary methods. Okay, through the literary methods, and these are the keywords. First is, for we have to discuss the dramatic methods, then we have to discuss the importance of the following extract from the play. Okay, so like this is just the extract from the play. ये पूरा play नहीं है, ये एक part of the play है which is given to us, which we need to discuss that what is happening here in this scene. Getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. So, would you like to please give the reading to this, whatever you are seeing, the first few structure, sentence structure?
There's my one question. Which question would be better to do, A or B?
I think that A is even fine if you do that, because in A you have a whole room of attempting things. Because what, in your view, does John's dramatic presentation of the relationship, when they're asking you to explain the dramatic presentation of the relationship between EPF and Rosa, these are the two characters, you can easily discuss them, right? And add to plays meanings and effect. So you have more keywords in the A part. When you have more keywords in the A part, then you have a a whole room of discussing things in detail. All right, we can discuss lots of things in detail, and also you can create a comparison of these two characters, so that would be easy to attempt A part. Even I would even don't mind if you go with B. Even the examiner don't restrict us to attempt any, but as far as my teaching is concerned, I am suggesting you to attempt the A part. Why? Because we have more keywords in it, right? So when they say that does John's dramatic presentation of the relationship between EPF and Rosa, so whatever John, this Errol John, has created this dramatic presentation between these two characters, add to the play's meaning and effects. So what does that? So what is the that dramatic presentation given to the play's meanings and effects? What effect it is it creating? What meaning is it giving to the play? The dramatic presentation which is given, which is presented. So you can easily explain more in it, right?
Yes.
Okay. But even if you go with the B part, that's even fine. You can explain things even here too, right? Okay, now let's read the lines, please. Yes, please read out.
Should I?
Yeah, yeah, you have to.
Charlie is sitting up as Esther comes into the veranda, the needlework in her hand. Look at it, Ma. Sophia has been stripping the salt fish. She wipes her hands on her dress. Let me see. Oh, Gorma, you're will dirty it. Miss Fussy, hand it here, Esther. Esther hands over her needlework. This is not the pattern Miss Jackman give yer to do. No, ma. It's a box yer want.
Oh,
Why yer like to have your own so? Why yer can't do what people ask you to do?
exactly. So see now.
Ma,
Mhm. Okay. Okay.
this
That.
one was pretty and it was much harder to do.
Mhm.
Is that
Okay, keep reading and finish it up. Once you'll finish, I'll start explaining.
I can't see it further.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Because I just want you to, explain till here that's okay. Because we need not to go in detail. We just need to understand things till here. Okay. So basically, what are they saying here? Charlie is sitting up as Esther comes into the veranda. So they are actually, telling us the settings of that play, that where is that taking place. The needlework in her hand. So what is the activity happening here? This is actually revealed to her in the beginning. What is she involved in? What is the activity going on? And Esther, look at it, Ma. So the dialogues which are being delivered and how they are showing, instead of telling that what is she doing, they are posing the questions, right? And they are, referring to each characters by explaining these short phrases. So we have to explain. Sophia has been stripping the saltfish. She wipes her hands. So they are explaining, what each character is involved in. All right. Each character is involved in, or what each character is doing. So through this, we are getting to know that what is this moon on a rainbow shawl. What does this title depicts? Moon on a rainbow shawl. Something did you get? Did you relate the idea? What is she doing? What is she actually something, the needlework is going on, or what is that? Or did the idea, you got after reading that? Moon on a rainbow shawl. If you got to know this topic, this title, so what did you actually perceived from that? What is your interpretation, if I'll ask you?
Um, the shawl maybe signifies that it's something to do with stitching,
Yes,
needlework.
exactly. Maybe there's a needlework going on, and somebody's doing a needlework and maybe knitting it, or maybe the moon is being knitting on that, something like that, right? So yes, that's right. So this is what actually is depicting, and Sophia has been stripping. Then the other characters are doing their activity. Sophia, let me see, is the oh Gorma, yer will dirty. So now she will make it dirty. Now they have used the language here in this. The writer has used the language of different perspective, where each and every word has different meaning. All right, because when you talk about differently about this poem, then the structure of the sentence in this, in as they are talking about the street names, as they are giving us the repetition of these words, this is interpret, each and every word has different interpretation, right? Each and every word is going to give us a different interpretation, because in this poem basically, Ephraim is the hero. I need to explain you the detail of this poem once we're going to start it basically. But Moon on a Rainbow Shawl, written by John, but the hero in this poem is Ephraim. Ephraim, Ephraim is the name of Ephraim. Ephraim is the name of the hero, who is a sympathetic figure. He's loved by the 12-year-old Easter, and he looks out for her in the manner of an older brother or an uncle. So you can say that he's noticeably sharp, and there's a story basically, quite you can say a kind of a love story, and they are explaining us the interpretations which are going on, and there are some instances which they're showing us together how they are behaving with each other, what is the scenario of the story going on, right? And there are some conversations in between. Okay, so as the play develops, we see that the Ephraim is here projecting his own aspirations onto Esther, but John, where is the other characters? There are different characters. So John is also reminding the audience that Esther is actually, the character most likely to make a success of immigration. So she has the brains. Esther has the brains. So she will be, continuously, making success throughout, not indulging herself into that love kind of thing, right? So she said that Sophia said that Miss Fussy handed here, Easter hands over the needlework, and this just activity, they are, this is not the pattern Miss Jackman give you here to do this. I mean, like Mrs. Jackman, this is not the pattern you have to follow, right? So here and these kind of words are mentioned here just to make sure the audience to explain that, to explain in detail, because when they are writing the play, they have, because in the past, contemporary English, the writer used to create a poetry or a drama with the blend of different languages, French or Spanish, those languages, or could be embedded into it. But now in the modern English, there's only English, there's no Spanglish, there's no French, there's no Chinese. But at that time, the writers used to do it. So these are the past writers, and they have done it, so we need to explain these things too. Okay, so Noma, is the box you want? Is this the box which you want? Why you like to have your own way? So why do you want to do this in your own way? Why you can't do what people ask her to do, right? Ma, this one was prettier and it was much harder to do. So now they're appreciating the work. So the basic purpose of explaining is that what are they embodying in each and every scene of this, what is happening in each of every scene that the characters are interacting. All right, and there are the in the upcoming lines they will also use these words like dream your dreams, which means that moon on a rainbow shawl, because this is a play about dreams and the cost of the dreams also, right? So there is not only just one theme which is depicting in it, it is going to be there are interlinked themes into it. Getting what I'm saying? So the major theme is going to be about dreams and a cost of dreams. Okay, where everybody is working for their dreams, and then there is a connection between the characters which they are showing, that is also an ongoing process. Okay, so all right, now till here I hope it's clear to you. Now you got to know. Now let me just show you a sample that how students write it basically. Okay, things will more clear in your mind when you get to know that how students write it, how they give the responses, how candidates actually attempt these such kind of questions. Okay, so let me just show you, because we have to focus on each level marker and then we attempt the things. But the example candidate responses from the other, Arthur Miller poem. So, okay. Okay, so Sania, this is basically paper one candidate response. And in this candidate response, the candidate has talked about, the play, which is All My Sons by Arthur Miller. All right. And maybe, he has attempted part A. The B part. Okay, he has attempted B part. As I told you, see, I told you, na, कि B part is going to be the one which students mostly go with. They are easy, but there is a room of doing the A part in a manner better manner. Okay, now look how she has given her answer. Arthur Miller was a famous American playwright. He started, by explaining the writer who wrote several well organized, well recognized, and critically acclaimed plays. So first, when we start our answer, what we do is that we used to explain the writer. So when you are explaining this poem, which we were doing, Rainbow One, Moon on a Rainbow Shawl, so we have to explain Errol John too. Who is he? All right, as a writer, we have to explain him. As I told you, the biography, we have to read that. Miller is considered by many as a social dramatist. Okay, we have to, put it in the commas. We have to explain. The first paragraph is going to be the, introduction paragraph. We have to do the analysis of the writer. We have to give the biography. Dramatist, as many of his plays, is, expose and criticize American society at the time of his writing. He talks about the effects of the capitalist economy and condemns profit. So whatever he, does in his poetry, in his drama, we have to highlight that, which have been criminally obtained. Miller quickly rose to fame. How he got fame? After the release of his breakout play, and that was All My Sons. So when you got the same play in your question, then it's quite easy for you to explain that. And then how the examiner is highlighting things, that in the first, the candidate opens with a general introduction that has contextual relevance, all right, but they need to shape it to the task. So what we need to do is, in the first paragraph, in the introductory paragraph, Sanya, we have to explain, give the general introduction. We also have to refer to the context. All right. So just the beginning of the context, and also we need to shape the introduction according to what they want from us. Getting what I'm saying? So,
In accordance to the question.
in accordance to just the keyword of the question. In the introduction, we need to just pick like a line from the keyword of the question, like whatever the writer is asking us, we need to actually relate it to it. Like, for example, in that question, let's suppose, where's the paper? In that question, the writer said that, where's that question? Just a minute. That, what, paying close attention to dramatic methods. So if we'll talk about, the dramatic methods, so we can say that, John, whomsoever, Arthur Miller, he is quite proficient in explaining the dramatic methods of English literature. Just a keyword of the question we'll be picking up, and we will be embedding it into our introduction. ठीक है, इतना सा टास्क अगर हम करते थे, we are achieving to shaping our introduction according to the writer's keywords. All right. And then Miller effectively creates a tone of course, in the introductory paragraph, हमें audience, purpose, and tone. These three things we have to hit. हमें करना ही करना है उसको, audience, purpose, and tone. All right. But keeping in mind that what the writer, who the writer is, keeping in mind the writer's biography, we cannot forget that. We have to mention that too, because we are having, a lots of word limit. In A levels, we have to write 600 to 900 word limit. Basically, we used to get that. So between that word limit, if we have to reach to that, we need to create almost like 8 to 9 paragraphs in 600 wordings. We have to go above 600. We have to create 8 to 9 paragraphs. So the first paragraph should be, properly according to the what the writer is, and then the audience, tone, and the purpose. Okay, so moving on to the second one, where the candidate offers their own opinion. Now, the second paragraph is going to be, where the candidate started explaining about his own opinion. Miller effectively creates a tone of hostility and judgment between, Anne and Kate within this extract. Now she comes to the, extract. कि उस extract में there is a conversation between these two, characters, और उसने बड़े ही अच्छे से इसको किया है. And then Anne's return poses a threat to the facade which Kate has worked on, hard to uphold. In some ways, Anne's written now in the second one, basically the writer, or maybe the person who has written this, the student, she has started giving her own opinion regarding the beginning of the text. She actually digs her deep into the story, and she is explaining about some awareness of the methods used in it. And then she will be moving on to the third paragraph, where she is demonstrating very good expression, which is precise and pertinent. Now, the next paragraph, starting with the next line, Kate is a masterful manipulation who typically knows how to exactly what she wants. Now she's enhancing the characters. She's explaining, introducing the characters. Who was Kate? How strong she was, as a character. All right, she's explaining all her traits here, and then picking out from the extract. देखो ये examples भी pick up करिए. Goes out much. इसका क्या meaning है? What is this depicting? And then keep on explaining those examples and extracting from the text, because हमें text को forget करना है ही नहीं. ठीक है, otherwise examiner gets frustrated कि यार ये बच्ची text को bother ही नहीं कर रही है, and she's just moving on towards her own explanation. That would create a vagueness, right? So हमें text को भी hand in hand consider करना है. We need to consider कि हमें biography भी उस writer की mention करनी है. Also, we need to keep in mind that are we mentioning it according to the literary devices? हमारा sentence structure is advanced or not? Okay, and moving on, and then the fourth paragraph, candidate shows an excellent understanding of the situation and some analysis of the plot. फिर उसके बाद उसकी situation के analysis and the analysis of the plot goes on, and then she offers an interpretation. चलो interpretation पढ़ लेते हैं. Number fifth पे, Kate is well aware of why Anne has returned, yet still chooses to question if Anne goes out much. Some critics have described Kate as an armchair psychologist, as she is well aware that Chris is involved with Anne and wishes for her to compliment and accept her. However, now she's using the transition words as well. Kate intentionally insults her and brings up, Laurie to make her feel uncomfortable. Daddy, scary, Laurie, whatever, the writer is actually not using the correct writing. And unwelcomed, Miller effectively uses stage directions to convey the conviction behind the words of these women, and speaks her mind resolutely. Now she's picking up the words to explain कि Anne जो है वो she is speaking her mind, and Kate is doing this, and also she is commenting by giving her own point of view. ठीक है, she is not missing her own sentence structure. क्योंकि whatever is happening in between the drama, we need to explain that. That's right. But also we need to explain our own point of view. We need to explain our own interpretation. We have to give in, we have to give evidences from the extract. That's right. That's acceptable. But we have to give our own point of view. You have to drop that too. Okay. And then the writer uses the methods, whatever the methods are being used, we need to explain that. If we move on towards that, I'm going to share this whole response with you, and also the question paper of this specific paper, so you can get a better idea how to basically structure the answers. So till here, did you understand how to attempt the section A of paper 1, drama? Okay,
Yes, I
so
understood.
you understood. Okay, fine. Because it's not that difficult, but it's even not that easy. We need to invest time into it, so as to understand that how many paragraphs we have to structure, and then we will be making notes. And eat that in each paragraph, how are we going to explain? Because we don't have to do the repetition. Examiners don't write want us to repeat things over and over again. There we of course it will go in the negative marking. First, we have to explain the audience tone, purpose, then the interpretations. I'll explain you each paragraph what it demands. Then we go in a structural manner, right? Okay, so this was all from my side for the section A, because we need time to explain each section, and section B will be discussing some other day, inshallah, and I'll explain you in detail too. So this was all about section A. How we need to discuss was because I'm sure I told you the marks of that too. Did I? Okay,
No, you
let me just
marks.
explain you according to the marking scheme too, because there's a detailed act in it, and let me show you the marking scheme too. 50 marks is so division of 25 25 each. Yeah, it's a division of 25 25 each. So this the first question is going to be of 25 marks, right? It's going to be 50.
Okay.
right? So because this was the high response, so let's see that how examiner has given marks. This response actually got 23 marks out of 25. So I'm going to share this response with you too. Then you will get an idea okay, how we need to structure. It's not that difficult, but it's even not easy. We need to work on it. So see. And we will be always, reading the high responses so we can get an idea okay, how the writers, wants us to structure the sentences. So this was all from my side. I hope you have understood it. We will be, recording the next session for section B2 once we'll be continuing. Thank you so much, Sania. Take care. Allah Hafiz.